Hi lovelies. So I got asked recently advice to roll over toes when transitioning from upward facing dog into downward facing dog. So I'm going to break that down for you today, or at least the way I have learned and progressed in my practice. So starting from your belly, if we're thinking about transitioning from a cobra pose into downward facing dog, so we're in our cobra, and moving into downward facing dog, we're tucking our chin, shifting the hips back, and pressing the tops of the feet down so the knees start to lift. Continuing to roll through the spine, you come all the way up onto the toes, and it begins to become a game of trust as we roll over. I do one at a time. I've seen people do two at a time. And so there's always seems to be one that goes first. And so the challenge becomes, I'll do that one again. The challenge becomes trusting your body's ability. So if we're in cobra, rolling over the toes, you're tucking and pressing through your hands, lifting the hips. The knees start to lift as the tops of the feet press down, and maybe the other foot rolls over first. So it's a lift of the hips, a press of the tops of the feet, and as your hips start to lift, you eventually roll over the toes. So the other transition is from a upward facing dog pose. So you're already in the lifted knees and the tops of the feet are pressing. From here, tucking your chin, lifting your hips, your feet are going to drag in just a little bit, and then you're going to roll up and over. So the final piece that I want to show you is a bit of a progression from that if you are strong in your chaturanga pose. And the reason we do this is the placement of hands and feet in downward facing dog. So the final placement, there is no more adjustment. It just puts you right where you need to be. And so it looks something like this. From a high plank, you'll lower down halfway into your chaturanga, and then a little bit of a push back through your toes and rolling to the tops of your feet already in your upward facing dog. That way when you shift back, your feet are exactly where they need to be in your downward facing dog. And there's no little walk-ups or adjustments and all of those little micro movements that take away from your flow. So I'll show that to you one more time. So from high plank, you're shifting forward into your chaturanga. It's a little flick of the toes to the tops of the feet. And then as you tuck your chin, feet drag in slightly, rolling over the toes, and we're in downward facing dog, and we're in the right distance, hands to feet, where we need to be to finish off our vinyasa. I hope that helps bring some clarity to rolling over the toes. It is a bit of a trust. It took me a long time to roll over my toes and feel okay with it. So take it at your pace, enjoy it, and play. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I will see you on your mat shortly. Namaste.